Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. Okay, so we have I'm talking to the ladies in the US and it could be, I don't know if it'll spread. It'll probably spread. I don't know why we became the trendsetters, probably because we're the ones in the biggest ones in the rat cage anyway. Hey, it worked there, it'll work there. Anyway, so when we are distracted, we get kind of a little bit, okay, I've had enough for today. I'm not going to look into anything else. One thing we do need to keep an eye on is all the laws being passed right now in the US. I know. This isn't spiritual. It is now. It is now. So, and that's the thing is like, all aspects of human life are spiritual. And this is, in my humble opinion, a spiritual war that we have in front of us. It's the Abrahamic narrative playing out yet again. Okay, when you worship human sacrifice, you're going to tend to manifest it. When you're going to do anything for 72 children, they didn't specify as to boys or girls, just children, just virgins. Okay, they don't, men can be virgin, boys can be a virgin. So let that sink all the way in, boys and girls. And you know, ask Isaac. Go ask Isaac how he feels about what's happening right now and the grooming that's required to enter the prison, which is religion. Okay. And yeah, the rich prince climbing the palace walls to tell its future subordinates that they have to suffer. That's just the truth of life. And he's going to be just fine with all his pentacles behind his palace walls. And he's going to choose to ignore their suffering when he could do anything to help it. I'm going to meditate so I don't have to responsibility today or any other day for that matter. Bye. Okay, this is another reason why I stopped meditating. I'm like, it's good to get grounded. It's good to stay in your body. It's good to help energetically. But again, with the wave of anxiety and the wave of meditation, I don't think it's doing what they said it would do. Because when you meditate on something and you don't actually do the thing to get the thing better, like it doesn't get better, so then your anxiety goes up. Weird. See what you see when you're in high anxiety? You're like, I just no. That's not going to take care of the issue. You have to go do the things. This personal responsibility, I don't like it. It's very uncomfortable. Make it go away. I can't. I just don't know what to tell you. Look at Minnesota, fucking negative 48 degrees, and they're out there fucking screaming their bloody guts out to get the freaking out of their state. Okay, so that's, yeah. And that's as a result from them not doing anything. And notice that the priest in the pastures did not show up until one of them was in cahoots. Oh my God, we might lose our pentacles. Hurry, somebody sacrifice themselves for the sake of God Almighty, please. Oh. Yeah, if you're religious, bye. This is not for you. No. This is a spiritual, not necessarily atheist, but like, there's no, I don't want any Scarface Sky Daddy asking me to say hello to his little friend, okay? And that's what Abrahamics especially do. And then the Buddhists just kind of bury their heads in the sand. Hindus kind of get a pass, because you can kind of pick and choose, and there's somewhat of a balance there. Yeah, I know. I've looked into it enough to really, it's comfy. I mean, where's my little doodad? Okay. If you work with the energy, if you just play with it and then trace it, that's all you got to do. Be like, and if you're curious, Go, hey, Jesus, energy. Let's hang for the day and ask Jesus. What would Jesus do? No. What would Jesus really feel like? But then you're going to have to go on a journey of finding out Jesus' real story, and that's not fun. So, back to the laws. Okay, women who are married, who want to stay married, be warned, it is going to be nearly impossible to get a divorce here shortly. It's called the SAVE law, SAVE, SAVE. I'm trying to save the patriarchy. That's what they're doing. Okay, so SAVE law entires a lot of things. If you don't think that Agenda 2025 is a thing, you probably should just... I got nothing for you. If you know it's a thing, go reread it or read it because it's a thing. Okay, they're just checking the boxes. Okay. So, when we look at the law that's trying to be passed, which you don't have to, because, I mean, I would go look at the law, I would read it, and there's other law channels. There's a lot of other law channels that have covered this. There's one in Minnesota, I forget her name. She's got white hair, freaking little cutie. She's very smart, very snippy. She's got some tude. She's spicy. I like her. I just cannot remember her name. Anyway, but I think she's based out of Minnesota somewhere. If nothing else, Minneapolis or St. Paul. Anyway, so rule number 1, if you are married and you want to stay married, you need to get your last name to the last name that's on your birth certificate. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to vote. Women who are thinking about getting a divorce, on the fence about getting a divorce, or see divorce anytime in their future, do it now. Because, I mean, they won't even charge anybody with a fucking ER visit, well-documented abuse case, so they're probably not going to give you a divorce. Do you see what I mean? So take what you know about the legal system and the medical system, about how human abuse is treated in that structure, especially when it comes to women and children, and apply it to trying to get a divorce. Yeah. And so, ladies, what you can do for yourself is call all the best attorneys and put your name in. That way he can't hire them. Loves you. So, aren't I just a cunt? Okay, so I swear to God, I'll stand by it. Minnesota's probably going to be the first feminine state. Can't happen soon enough because they're starting to realize that the passive aggressiveness is starting to seep out into the cracks, and that's really where the split's gonna come. It's passive aggressive. I don't see any problems yet. I didn't see anything wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you need to calm down. Maybe you need to, settle it. You're very unsafe right now. Yeah. Okay. When the women panic, you know it's legit. It's legit. So, when we get to that state of, okay, now we're going to get a divorce, make sure if you want to vote, I'm not telling you have to vote. That's not my agenda here. I'm telling you the rights that they're about to remove from a whole slew of people. If you are getting married and, in need of obvious medication. Right now, the state of way things are. Ugh! Okay, so just know that this law being stated right now of, nearly impossible to get a divorce in the future, just take that into consideration and just maybe be like, babe, instead of doing the whole legally married thing, let's just buy a house together. That's legally binding. Pretty much the same thing as getting a divorce. I can testify to that. Right? I was like, marriage gets all sticky and gross and icky. And then I was like, we'll just do it the other way. Anyway, so just remember that these things are going to probably most likely be passed into law because the vast majority of the population is not paying attention. So get your papers in line, please and thank you. Those are the papers that you know you have, that you have access to, and that you know what the fuck they're for. Yeah, so, that's the other thing. ICE is like, give me your papers. And like, you mean my fucking ID? No, your papers. Like my insurance card? No, your papers. What the fuck are papers? You see how they roll? So if you don't have papers, automatic. Oh, because why would we train the people that can't pass the piss test? Anyway, so okay, the whole narrative is to get people distracted, and it's working. So there was one other thing on there though. So change your last name. I read somewhere also that it's easier to get a passport when you're married, but I don't know how the hell that's supposed to work. If your passport, if you want to leave the country, which in case you're not going to vote anyway, but if you're planning on leaving the country, get your passport before you get the divorce, and then hightail it out. That's what I've heard. Okay, so what else? There's little nuggets all the way through. Little nuggets. Oh, DEI. They're not going to be hiring women, especially, well, they've cut down on African American, but they'll cut down a lot on white women to try to force us back into relation. In order to make us more dependent on the people that don't want to be dependent on. Oh, like I nobody checked the temperature on that, did they? The majority of men do not want to be depended on for anything. They want women to do everything for them, which is literally like killing us. And when it's not killing us, they're actively poisoning us. Like, the men are so afraid of fucking feminine, they can't get any balance in their own freaking system. So all they know is like, how do I get more death and destruction? How do I do it? What do I wipe out next? How can I cause harm and whatever else to fulfill my masculine duties? Okay. So it's not for the sake of the compost pile. It's for the sake of I'm masculine, must prove masculine. What do I destroy and kill next? That kind of thing. So I'm not saying, but in the back of their mind, they'll do it in one way or another. And it doesn't matter. Death happens on so many levels: financial, social, spiritual, financial. Cultural, emotional, psychological, mental. All different layers of life get different types of death that come, you have to stop believing in the thing that you believed in once. So you have to stop having the same thought process program running through your head. You have to, all these deaths all of them keep coming in and keep coming in and keep coming in. And the problem is the males are not allowing new life to emerge from within them because they have put that entirely on the women, while we have to keep up with the death tolls that they also provide humanity on, again, every single solitary level. So we are constantly like that little freaking robot in WALL-E. I don't remember Mo. His name was Mo. Constantly cleaning up after it. Constantly, erasing the trail. No, it's fine. Really. You're just in your masculine. This is how it's supposed to work. Blah, 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 blah. Just robotic. So, rather than teaching men to be more productive, relax, just let them play on the video games and shame all the women and all the authorities and all the people in charge of caregiving, and it's all their fault. Okay. See how that works out for you. Okay. So while they're headed over the cliff or the waterfall or whatever the hell it is, because like apparently there's no sense that can be talked to there. We do need to navigate away from that prospect of life as well. So we need to be very vigilant of the men that we keep around us, as well as the women, because a lot of times women who have a spiritual narrative that is tied to an Abrahamic or life is suffering will actively fulfill those roles. If they don't see the people around them fulfilling the role, they will make sure that those people somehow, some way get into those roles. They will curse you. They will put you into... Okay, so let's get one thing straight. The Abrahamics are just the most condensed collection of blood and black magic. I don't know why we can't say that out loud. I don't know why we can't say that out loud. But if those bitches want to curse you, ooh child, they're going to curse you. And they're going to rip your fucking life to shreds. Do not engage in any way, shape, or form. Don't make friends with them. Don't do it. Because they will literally be like, they'll sense that you're not like them. And then they'll be like, well, since they're not like me, they just need to get off the planet. See how the patriarchy works? Death, 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 death. And here we are with a manifestation straight out of their handbook. Genocide, genocide, genocide. Yay! Masculine will be happy. And if you read the comments, that's what's happening. They're just rejoicing. Take them all out. We don't like them. So just, they're not like us. How dare they be breathing in our country? See how the logic works there? That's masculine energy. Okay, so for those of you who think you're going insane because you feel like every single day you're inundated with a bunch of fucking death threats from various subconscious whatever, it's not. It's not you. It's the patriarchy. It's continuous destruction, and we have to constantly be sifting through it. And some of us are like, yeah, we're over that. You're gonna have to deal with your own shit. And your box of darkness is now yours, officially. We are finished opening the boxes of darkness. Okay, I'll open whatever box I choose to, and if it's not your box of darkness, there's nothing you can say or do going to change my mind. It's even if I did open it, I'm not dealing with it. Be like, that's nice for you. Have fun with that. I have my own box of darkness to deal with. Thank you. So, again, cannot stress this enough. This is not the time to start dating. This is not the time to start engaging with much of anything. We're still in a chrysalis right now. Sharpening your antennas, getting that intuitive knowledge, wisdom, just repetitious in your body. And even, a lot of times what I do is like, I'll get a sense about it. I'll do the protective thing. I'll be like, I'm just going to go I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna engage, and I want concrete proof on it though. I want my hit validated. And then you go get it. Make sure you're protected. And it will hurt. It will hurt because they will give you all the facades that this is hunky dory. And then you like, oh, is it though? I really need to see some evidence. And they will give you the evidence that your intuition was, yeah. So stay vigilant but open, because there's people out there that will surprise you and you know, put the wonder back in your heart, and you know, develop those beautiful, wonderful, intimate relationships that do make life worthwhile and worth living. So don't get discouraged, but just remember that they're running a program that you don't have any say in. You've never had a say in it. People, I've heard so many, my mother ran our household. Yeah, she ran the household, but your father got all the credit. Do you see how that works? So she was given the power in the house, okay? Which gave her the illusion of power, when in actuality she couldn't have spent a single penny without his say-so. Hi guys. That's just because you're like, darling, we need this much in groceries and we should probably invest in this, that, and the other thing. Just because he says okay doesn't mean she's running the house. It just means that she's managing things, that she knows what to do, and she has good insight. Okay? That's about the extent of it. Okay? And then, you know, later on, when she figures out that he had a ton of hidden bank accounts and probably some lovers on the side and maybe some extra kids and whatever else, is she still running that household? Are you sure? Probably not. Okay? So, when we get to the state of consciousness where we can accept all this, this is so low vibrational. I've always been curious, and I still haven't quite come to exactly how the hell that process works. So you're gonna ignore the fire and go sit in a tree and meditate. And when that tree catches fire, what the hell are you gonna do? I'm just curious, because your forest is burning and you want to sit up in a tree and meditate. I'm just curious as to what you think was going to happen to that tree that you're sitting in. Because I don't get it. I don't get how, like, you know, ignoring the 3D is going to service humanity. And if you think it is, just take a little bit of my perspective and go read about what happened to Tibet. Right, Mr. Savage? It is me. He's like full fizz gig today. Okay, so just remind yourself of this stuff as you're going forward. And again, if you need to get curious about religious people or about men, just be vigilant and get in. Okay, what is my intuition telling me? And I'm going to go see about it. I want to know. I'm going to go test it. I'm going to go investigate. And then you always come back to it. It's always, your intuition is always on. And, you know, they want to gaslight you out of it. They want to tell you that you, you know, oh, now you're dangerous. You're the threat. See, this is why we never should have let you ever have any power whatsoever. Okay, so the gaslighting will ensue, and the blame shift, the shame, and whatever else for us looking out for our own best interests, because no one else will, becomes a real issue for them. And that's okay. That can be their issue, but it needs to remain their issue. It's their issue. They got themselves here to where we are today. And just because we're looking out for our own best interests all of a sudden, which is human right, basic human right, it's my human right to tell you no. It's my human right to see the truth of the situation and decide what's best for myself and my existence. And you trying to convince anybody else that that's not the case is not gonna fly. It just isn't. So if religious people need their religion, they can have it, but they need to, respect other people, which they're not going to. It's not going to happen. They will to your face, but they subconsciously, nope, they will make sure that their kind is well in your face about not believing in, Scarface Sky Daddy when he's got his little minions in the street going, say hello to my little friend yet again. So I don't see how uplifting that manifestation is going to serve humanity in any way, shape, or form. So I just abstain from doing it. So, well, how do we put this? So it's the dark triad, right? You've got the what do you call the Abrahamics? So you've got the Israelites, the Catholics, Christians. Catholic means universal, so Catholic is the umbrella they stand underneath. All of their different sects are like, well, mine's better. Mine came on these holy tablets. Okay. So I'd be and then you have the Islamic community, which you don't have to even read their books, just go read the Sharia law. Cheese and rice. Okay. So understanding and comprehending those are what's keeping this whole thing running. Those entities and institutions. Now, I'm not saying like you hate on those people. I'm just saying take your energy, time, attention, and focus away from them and their communities. Just take it away. Okay? Because their manifestations are coming alive right now. If you hang out, you're bound to get caught in the freaking crosshairs. And that's what's happening to humanity again. And I'm toying with the notion of just starting something else, because it's so needless. People just want to fucking live their lives, and here we are shooting up the thing because some fucking batshit crazy overlord was like, I just want power and control over these people, and all their freaking overlords were like, we have the very script for you. And then religion, which means to bind again. Before that, it's probably called a binding spell, or a trauma bond as we call it today, which is trauma that is the threat or perceived threat. Doesn't even have to be a direct threat, just a perceived threat. So think of Isaac. Is it Isaac? It's freaking Isaac. Just think about being that kid for a second. And granted, they don't ever ask you to do that in Sunday school, but in the back of our subconscious minds, that has just been triggered. You don't get to pick and choose when your subconscious goes, excuse me, what? They were gonna what him for why? Nothing? For just being a kid? Cause Scarface Sky Daddy said so. Okay, so just think about being that kid. So there you go. There's your introduction to a trauma bond, aka religion. Okay, so that releases threat or perceived threat, releases adrenaline and cortisol into the central nervous system. When you don't die from this said threat, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, and dopamine mix with the first two, creating that addictive chemical cocktail, which is why religious people lose their shit when you threaten their what? Their supply. They are addicts and they need to be treated as such. We need to proceed with caution because they will get violent like an addict would. If you flush their shit down the toilet, they're gonna fucking beat your ass, okay? That's just gonna happen, okay? So, not to like give an example or anything, but that's what's happening in their system is you just cut their supply off and now they have to go find different supply, and they had easy supply and now they don't have easy supply, and now they're mad because now they got to go out and work to get the supply. Now instead of drugs, rather than talking about a chemical cocktail, we are talking about human beings. And now we don't have to scratch our heads as to why the hell narcissism and psychopathy took over the fucking planet. Do we? Oh, I left sociopathy out of there, didn't I? So the dark triad. Even though I think in the DSM-5, the dark triad is... God, Machiavellianism, something about trauma to the skull, and psychopathy. I think is I'll let you debate in the comments who got dropped on their head. Anyway, so the point is moot. It doesn't matter. They all freaking... Right? So this is how they're behaving. Like drug addicts, but humans are their supply source. They have to be spreading it. They have to get more people on the, human sacrifice train. Because if we can get everybody on the human sacrifice train, then Daddy will be happy. I don't think that's how any of that works. I think Daddy's going to be like, well, the least of you, or at least how I've told you to register human beings based on skin tone and sexual organs, can be rallied up and sacrificed to me now. Thanks. This is their manifestation. So, like back in the 1930s, 150 million people died, even though we were only allowed to talk about that 6. Only the 6 million were important. Fuck the rest of those bitches. Right? Do you see how it works? Do you see how this is ingrained into society? That we're just trained to think that everybody who is not like us, who doesn't perform like us, who doesn't talk like us, who doesn't look like us, who doesn't blah, 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 is just less than, and they shouldn't be here. That is all Abrahamic narrative right there. Just broad daylight. They don't care. Okay? So just keep your flame, and I love you.